Cool. Why don't we start from the top?
Wait 1 second. I'm still getting the live stream set up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. We are live, and we are now recording.
Cool.
I should probably put this on our Twitter.
You want to do the honor?
Yeah. I was gonna let Joseph do it, but I guess I'll do it. It's fine. Go to the first slide, John.
I think I'm on it.
You're not.
I'm not?
You're sharing your PowerPoint window. There you go.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So, welcome everyone to the Investment Weekly meetup, where we just talk about like some random topic that we choose beforehand, and then we just talk different stocks about that to see like what we can invest in. We normally do this offline together, but we decided to do them regularly, on a weekly basis, online, so everybody can like contribute to it, or just listen in. So, who are we? Just 5-second introduction. I'm FA. I'm a retail investor. I've been investing for like at least 10, 15 years at this point. I'm an engineer by trade in one of the FANG companies. Been there for like 6 years, senior engineer. But yeah, so been very involved in investing though.
Yeah, John, you want to go next? Do you want me to?
I can go next super quickly. My name is John. I'm a director at a fintech. I've been trading also around like 10 years now, mostly finance and tech stocks. And yeah, I mean, I try to follow like value trading methodologies as much as I can and try to find like good value buys basically.
Yeah, and I'll follow it from there. My name is Joseph. I guess I'd define myself as a bit of a smaller sized influencer, but like most influencers, I like dividend investing.
Awesome. All right. Why don't we go the third one?
And
John, I think you're sharing your window again.
Am
but it's
I?
fine.
Okay.
Just click on it on the window.
And new joiner Michael Tracy, welcome to our online stock investment weekly meetup. Any questions? No pressure if you don't want to turn your camera on or talk or anything. But hey, any questions? Hit us up in the chat. Turn the mic on anytime, or any comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Sure. Thanks. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I can hear you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. All right, John. I think you're sharing, right? So go to the third one. So you're sharing your PowerPoint itself, like the actual thing.
I don't really get it, but
like just share your full screen.
I guess I'll just go with that. Yeah. It's probably easier.
It's okay.
This works too.
All right.
It's perfect.
It's good now, right?
Yeah, this is good now. All right, cool. So AI stocks. So everybody knows that AI has been kind of the deal for the last year and more, year and a half. So it happened last year, January, where it exploded. So what are some of the things that we want to talk about, John?
Yeah, I guess this is kind of like becoming a tradition for us. Like this is our third week in a row. We previously covered bank stocks as well as pharmaceuticals. So this week the topic's AI, and like a standard question is like stock markets usually are categorized by like 11 different sectors. So the question is, what sectors from these 11 categories are affiliated with AI, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think it hits a lot of these. So because AI can basically do a lot of the stuff. So energy, because it consumes a lot of energy. Health, utilities as well. Healthcare, because AI can do a lot of what doctors can do basically with diagnoses and stuff. There were like studies that was made with the diagnoses percentages versus human versus AI, which was really good. Financials, consumers, where it's like recommendations and stuff like that. Information technology, obviously. Communication services, also realized like it actually hits almost all except for maybe materials. And
And
even then, it could
And
still
then,
get.
yeah.
I was gonna say I've heard of AI even being used for like back end bookkeeping, reordering, and
Yeah.
and management models. And I guess just to kind of reiterate what Fa said, since this is we do record this, I for one welcome our future robot overlords.
Yeah, who doesn't? I'm looking forward to being out of a job. But yeah, still, uh, uh, it definitely is very good, and that's certainly why it has popped up the way it has. Once people have realized that AI, hey, this Chat GPT 4 thing, is actually doing things like a human would in some of the ways.
Mm.
Not all the ways. It's still getting there, but definitely something. So,
Say, could I interject something here? Just because
of course,
you're talking about AI, I've done a ton of research on that stuff. You had
nice.
mentioned how it touches like everything except materials. I was watching a YouTube video just yesterday on like areas that it touches, and I think it's Google's DeepMind. The same way that it affects healthcare, where you can program an AI to start working out like different protein sequences.
Mm-hmm.
They started. There's something called stable materials, sort of like
Mm.
like styrofoam and
Yeah.
polyethylene. And apparently, there's like 11,000 known stable materials, and they plugged it into Google DeepMind, and then that thing spit out another 60,000. So it does actually touch materials.
Yes, exactly. That's why at the end I corrected myself that
Oh,
even
sorry.
material could be because of that, because the combinations of it can just like do a lot of like the healthcare, like you said, protein folding and stuff like that. That is very like AI intensive. It could be because they're like basically infinite amount of like different protein folding instructions that you can do. And I'm not gonna go into too much detail. I don't want to bore anyone, but basically AI could do basically miracles in that sense. It can just find new stuff for us.
Most definitely. And I guess referring back to the two previous podcasts in the last 2 weeks, like pharmaceutical, I think we said 7 out of 11. Banks was probably up there. I think Joseph, you might recall. Like AI seems to be really covering all 11.
I said even banks were 11 out of 11 because debt financing is. I
Oh,
mean,
true.
what
Yeah.
industry doesn't it touch? But
Yeah.
I would agree with you though, John, that AI definitely touches and is more directly
Yeah.
involved with each one.
Yeah. In terms of directly producing it, I think it's the 11 out of 11.
Agreed.
Yeah. Awesome. I guess a little bit more on the facts about like AI industry in general. So global AI market. I know that nowadays it's really hard to come across non like fee studies. Like some studies are like over a few grand on this, but like one of the more credible ones, I found this website, President's Research, and I was able to like fact check against some other sources. So give or take, the AI industry globally currently is around like 538, like around like 4 to 600 billion, but 538 is probably like more mid range right now. And you can just see the projections basically for the next 10 years. 2.5 trillion. That's almost the size of like British economy or something. Like
Yeah.
it's massive. So
So I guess one question for you, or I guess for everyone here, is that Nvidia's market cap versus Amazon's market cap. So Amazon is a giant, right? It's like one of the biggest companies in the world. I know that Apple has officially overtaken, but it doesn't nearly do as much as Amazon does. What is the market cap of Amazon versus what is the market cap of Nvidia right now?
Are you asking for numbers or are you asking what it should be?
I'm asking for numbers. I'll get to what it should be.
I mean, off top of my mind, I think Amazon's around like 1.5 trillion, I think, and Nvidia must have been around like two-ish.
What's your?
So yeah,
I'm pulling up
I'm
Nvidia, which 2.2 as of market close today trillion.
yeah. And Amazon is 1.9.
1.9. Yep.
Yeah. So I guess I'll, from an investing point of view, because that's what we're trying to do here, right? Nvidia is 2.2. It is basically the poster boy of AI at this moment. Not because they actually do AI themselves, it's because of their like GPUs, which is used for AI. But AWS, Amazon through AWS does something very similar, and they also do a lot of other stuff as well. So I'm asking 1.9 trillion dollars for Amazon versus 2.2 trillion for Nvidia. Do you think that Amazon should be going up? if that's the case, because they do the same thing and more, and they also have much more engineers, much more capabilities than NVIDIA does. So I guess the other question is NVIDIA a bubble right now, or is it basically where it should be in terms of AI, and will Amazon gonna be catching up to that
Hello,
market yet?
I'm so sorry for late.
Yeah, no
Oh,
worries.
hey, no worries. Thank you for joining.
And so I need like just a 3 minutes. I come from my work and my English so disgusting. I'm so sorry. One moment.
No,
Okay.
it's okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess the question is NVIDIA a bubble? Is it going to go down, or is Amazon going to surpass it? Because I think those are the only options here.
I mean, for the record, I know you are an NVIDIA bear, FA.
I'm not a bear. I love
I
NVIDIA.
I thought you were bear. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't
I'm
mean
not
to.
a bear. I just question its current valuation. That's
He's
what it
just
is.
skeptical, I guess.
That's
in terms
fair.
Of how sustainable this.
Yeah.
I I mean, we've talked about this before. I'm a firm believer in Amazon should be the second largest company in the world, behind only Microsoft. And even then, I look at the AWS numbers versus it's Microsoft Azure, correct? And sometimes I think Amazon 10 years from now might even have the leg up on Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other ball game. But
True.
AWS currently is basically so much larger than Azure, and through that, Amazon is just the biggest company because it's basically running the internet. Running the internet means you're running basically the world. So that versus NVIDIA's GPUs, which is just the material that you're selling, that doesn't compute to me. Yes, everybody's using NVIDIA, but NVIDIA has all its competitors. And just today, there was an article about AMD coming up with their own GPU line, with their own specifically to AI GPU line. So I guess the question again is like, is Nvidia gonna keep going up, or should we just invest on other things that are kind of like Amazon?
If you take too long.
In my mind, like, guys, if we're talking about like purely market cap stock prices, like obviously market cap is also like a way to evaluate, right? Like, I guess I don't know the specifics, but they look at like number of users, projections, future forecast. If the current valuation is more at projecting, extrapolating at the current rate in terms of market dominance, yes, it is, in my opinion, a bubble. Because as you guys can see, like, they're really enjoying a monopoly right now. If more of the competitors start taking cut of the pie, and if the pie doesn't substantially grow, but it's like, I mean, even if the pie grows, if they take more of a cut, then in my opinion, at this rate, like maybe Nvidia cannot grow as much as it did in the last 14 months. So in a sense, yeah, it could be considered a bubble from that angle. It's just subject to competitors seriously competing with them, I guess.
There's just one giant issue with NVIDIA losing its monopoly. It's called CUDA. It's a library that runs the NVIDIA chips. It is specific to NVIDIA. When you write code, it is basically for that thing only. But there's a caveat here, is that people don't actually write CUDA directly mostly. They write in Python. And Python libraries abstract those away. So there is a chance that NVIDIA has monopolized and like entrenched themselves into, because of the materials that they're selling, kind of like Apple. Apple is doing like an ecosystem thing. But because of like open source technology, that could be beaten. So I wouldn't really bet all my horses on NVIDIA. I would definitely not investment in whites, just saying. But I would definitely put some eggs in there. But I would also, if you're doing AI, I would not do NVIDIA alone. That's what I'm trying to say.
And to make sure we reiterate, none of us are financial advisors.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Or licensed
Very
professionals.
important.
Yeah. So don't. Yeah, it's not financial. So please don't sue me. But still.
I'm curious, is it an open question to the group, or
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say NVIDIA has probably a year or two of runway as like top dog on this, especially because they just released their Blackwell chips, and they are like way ahead of the competition. However, as you were talking about with the competition heating up, their main customers are Google and Meta and such, and they're all launching their own chips so that they can stop paying NVIDIA so much. And once that kind of comes to market and they have their own resources, then that definitely, takes NVIDIA down a peg. However, they are like significantly far ahead. There
Absolutely.
are other competitors such as Cerebrus and Grok chips that are also out there right now. Grok being its own special
Yeah.
language processor, and Cerebrus being a not digital but an analog chip, which is just fascinating. So
Yeah. Grok is the Elon's thing, isn't it?
no, 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 no. Grok with a K is Elon's large language model.
Oh
Grok with
yeah.
a Q is a special kind of chip designed specifically to run large language models, the inference but not the training, and it is like
Oh,
40x times faster.
really? I
Um,
didn't know this one.
yes, yes, that it really, really fascinating stuff.
That's cool.
It was actually a company that was founded by the guy who worked at Google who put together their tensor processing units, and he left to go make these language processing units. So Grok with a Q. Um,
Grok for the coup.
Cool. Yeah.
Is
That's
that
it.
the ticker
Yeah.
as well, Michael? The ticker is Grok.
Pardon?
Stock
No,
ticker. The symbol.
Grok's the company. I don't think they're publicly traded.
They're not public. Okay.
They just recently, within the last couple of months, had this like really great demo because they're
Hmm.
if you run any of these large language models, like particularly if it's like a voice interface, you ask a question and then you wait for like 5, 6, 8 seconds, and then you get back a response. The Grok chips move so fast; it's actually back and forth, and it opens up use cases like actually having a conversation. And that's even slower. Like speech is slower than these things are actually moving. So that opens up the possibility of basically agent AI, where you have multiple AIs talking with each other faster than you could read or speak, and then they spit out the answers. So, like 40x speed is
Yeah. Like a multi-hop AI thing.
yeah, and it's NVIDIA still has the leg up in terms of training. It's definitely a power, a real powerhouse on
Yeah.
that one. But in terms of just running the inference, this thing is a straight shot.
And inference alone is actually a really important part of the thing. Like from Bedrock, there's like a specific endpoint for inference. So just that alone, if you can offload from NVIDIA chips, that would be a huge win for AWS. Yeah.
Shall we move on to
Yeah, sure.
the weekly picks? I guess we picked 4 stocks. Can start with.
Yeah, I mean, we were
Okay.
kind of talking about Amazon anyway, so might as well talk about them a little bit more. So Amazon, basically, they do have some AI stuff, namely Alexa, but I'm not really more into Alexa stuff, but more into like Bedrock stuff, which is AWS's AI service. So what AWS does, for those who don't know, AWS is basically just like when they say cloud, it just means that you want a base server, you just go to AWS and then they just give you a server, and it's like one click. And this is very expanded, so they have everything, and they have stuff like AI too. So if you need AI capabilities, you just go to this AWS Bedrock thing, and then you just give it your text, and then it just like spits you back just like ChatGPT does, but much cheaper than ChatGPT, obviously. So they are actually ramping up a lot of AI, and they are investing heavily on AI on Amazon. They did some layoffs related to other stuff on Alexa and some other organizations, but they are very, very like gung ho when it comes to this AI stuff. So I'm thinking if if what Michael said is true, also like with the Grok chips, they can shed some NVIDIA, so the profits would go higher there, and then I'm sure they're also doing their AI chip too.
Amazon is investing heavily, like upwards of 3 billion in Anthropic, which is an AI company, which is the primary competitor to ChatGPT. So they're essentially going to buy Anthropic, which is
Yep.
Claude. So that's their play.
Yep. Yeah, that's also true, and they also have like internal LLMs. I'm assuming.
You're
I'm
assuming.
I'm assuming. But yeah, so expect a lot of things when it comes to AI from Amazon. I would say, well, not a lot of people are thinking of AI when they think of Amazon right now, but I think they're going to be a very big player in this field. So they're currently, like I said, it's 1.4 trillion market cap.
Actually,
Nvidia's
it's
2.2.
1.9. If I made a
1.9. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry. But yeah, so it still stands 2.2 versus 1.9. It's definitely has a lot of room to grow, even though it is like a giant behemoth. When it comes to AI, I think it is underserved, and that's I'm looking at this through like a shovel selling point of view, not through like an making an actual like chat GPT thing or like some weird software that solves some niche particular thing, but it's selling the AI to those people, which is actually going to be making the money. And from an investment point of view, I think that is where the actual money is going to be at. And they're going to be looking at cutting profits. Cutting not cutting profits, cutting some spendings through making their own AIs, going through like cheaper powers, things like that. That is why I have Amazon picked for this week. I do have another one, but this one is my main pick, I think.
Just a quick note on numbers, I guess, like drifting away a little bit from the AI. Amazon seems to be doing very well. What do you think? Why do you think that's the case? Is it like it's just bouncing back from a really bad 2022, or is there like actual facts behind it?
Yeah, I think they keep doing layoffs, and for some reason, stock market thinks that doing layoffs is a good thing these days. And I think that is actually like helping with the lean look of Amazon, which is I don't know if it's actually true or not, but that's what the markets feel like. And we are in a bull market right now, so it's not like it was like last year. So it is just regaining ground. So I think it's currently at the level where it was before
Yeah.
bear market started. So we're basically back to where we started with Amazon. So I think from here it is gonna go up. Not financial advice.
Thanks for that, Efe. I guess we can move on to the next one, unless anybody has something to say or add.
Cool.
Let's have our next pick, which is far smaller. But
that's an understatement.
I guess, Joseph.
Yep.
The floor is yours, I guess, for this one.
Yeah. When the guys told me that we were going to talk about AI stocks this week, I kind of realized that I don't know the first thing about AI. I know pretty well how to find my way around Chat GPT, but I'm not a tech guy. I don't claim to be. Yeah. So instead, I went with a little bit of what FA was saying, but in a different way, kind of like who's selling the shovels. Kind of like, and for anyone who doesn't get that reference, that goes back to like the when gold was discovered in California. People who made the money weren't the miners; they were the people selling the shovels. So Plug Power, I currently do not hold any Plug, but I am a former investor in Plug, and I got to say I got out just at the right time. Plug Power, for anyone who doesn't know, is a green energy company founded back in 1997 in Latham, New York. I don't know where that is in New York State, but somebody here probably does, I hope. But yeah, that said, Plug Power, what makes it an AI play was really starting, especially last year, and they've really been leading into it this year, is Plug has kind of made it their near sole mission to generate green energy for AI language models. The thing they quoted on their website, one of their more recent blog posts just last month, was that ChatGPT, as of today, is using 17,000 times more electricity in a single day than the average American household. And Plug believes they could, of course, do better for the environment and do better all around if they could do that with hydrogen fuel cell technology. Actually, just recently, Plug has been a longtime favorite of the U.S. Department of Energy, along with their main competitor, Bloom Energy, who does a very similar thing, and did just announce a $75 million funding the Department of Energy did straight to Plug for two different projects for membrane electrode assembly production. I don't really know what that is, but it sounds great. But Plug's had it rough, down like 71% over the last year, I believe, give or take, which they attributed primarily to supply challenges in the hydrogen network in North America, and that is a direct quote from their from their December earnings call. However, this 271 price they're at right now, making it back to a penny stock. They've bounced between the 60-70 range going back to like 2018 really. They kept going high and they crashed. It's been a boom bust cycle. I'm kind of debating starting a bit of a small position in Plug, because I think when John and I were talking he called it a value play. I'd call it more of a speculative play. I'd compare Plug right now a lot to like a Rivian investment. Of the future is potentially very bright. The question is, can management get them there to it? What's got me very what's got me very bullish on Plug Power is, of course, like we've talked about, AI is using a lot of energy, and they are doing everything in their power to be at the forefront of turning those AI models green. Which I think with corporate and tax incentives here in the U.S., a lot of people are going to go to. And also in some of their recent calls, they've even announced that they are working by themselves to get ahead of any supply challenges, stating they're even coming up with multiple green hydrogen production plants that will yield 500 tons of liquid green hydrogen daily by 2025. Another direct quote from their earnings call. And as long as announcing a partnership with Arcadia E-Fuels, who also, again, green hydrogen production. If you listen to management, they do have a plan, and that's also why if you go back to their January earnings call, they saw a pretty nice stock jump. Kind of see it there on the chart, but they've been following along with the rest of the market over this last week. Plug believes they're going to have $5 billion in sales by 2026, which would be massive to say the least. A huge increase over where they're at now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, please. I'm spiraling.
These guys are like advertising as like the power provider for AI, I guess.
Yes.
But what makes that type of power any different than any other type of power? So like, what are they? What would they be doing differently than any other hydrogen researching power company, I guess?
Man, that is a great question. You know that, FA?
Power, you know?
I mean, my understanding of it is hydrogen fuel cell power is still kind of in its infancy. And I'll admit, we kind of picked a topic that I'm not great at this week.
That's fine. No, I think it's fine. I think it's great that like they're trying to do like this niche thing where it's like, hey, we supply power to AI. But what does that actually mean? So like, it doesn't actually have to be doing something too much for it to actually get some money from stock market. Because I don't know if anyone remembers, but 2016, blockchain was like popping up. There was this lemon juice company. They changed their name to Lemon Blockchain Juice or something like that. They literally have nothing to do with blockchain, but they like stock basically like skyrocketed overnight because everybody thought they were doing blockchain, and blockchain doesn't do anything. AI actually does something. So
okay,
I'm just asking: is this trying to get money, or?
I have a slight answer on that. I do think, I mean, based on their management and what we've seen over the past, again, I've been watching Plug since like 2017, 2018. Basically what we're seeing is hydrogen fuel cell tech is still very much in its infancy. The main thing holding it back being the sustainable production of hydrogen, not even on a green level, just the sustainable production. And Plug is putting money into mostly that creating the ongoing supply of hydrogen, which no one else has been able to quite do yet. The industry is young, and they're trying to be at the forefront of it.
I've got something for you.
Yes, please.
Specifically in making hydrogen itself is very electricity intensive. What you do is you take water and you add electricity, and it breaks the hydrogen and oxygen apart. It takes a lot of electricity to do it. So anybody who's advertising themselves as a green hydrogen, their play is essentially windmills and solar panels, and taking the electricity from renewables to make hydrogen, which is kind of a little bit of an energy bump. You use that to break up the hydrogen, you stick those in fuel cells. That's essentially the green. How that relates to AI is probably marketing, but that's the angle for green hydrogen.
Did not know that. Thank you. Today I learned.
Yep. MD, are you want to say something?
I'm Max. Sorry,
Max.
I'm new user of Zoom. So can I ask drop me after this presentation all the slides to my email if that's
Yeah,
possible.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
Because
course.
I'm not a fluent, you know, in English, so that's my like new
No
language.
problem.
So it's like
Definitely.
for I think
No,
4 months I speak
Yeah.
English. So now after I will be translated
Definitely.
all for understand them better, you know.
yeah. For
But
someone who doesn't know English, your accent is almost non-existent.
Yeah. You're very fluent.
thank you very much. But
Yeah.
I'll
I
try to
have
add this to the
experience.
event chat, I guess, if I can do that, if I can
Yeah, we
accept
can
the
do that.
call.
Just
Yeah.
just type actually yeah, what you can do is basically you can sign up on the marketplace and then we will get
Yeah.
you an email through there too, or you can just message us. That also works.
Okay,
We'll actually send it out on the event chat too. Actually,
Yeah.
okay,
that's
thanks.
easier. But
Awesome.
yeah, back to topic. Sorry, John, were you gonna say something?
Oh, no, I thought we were finished. Please go ahead.
Oh yeah. So back to the topic here. So I think Plug Power, um, they only plays the marketing angle of it. That's my honest opinion. I don't know. I mean, maybe they are actually like some I don't know, collaboration with some of the like data warehouses, and they're the only ones supplying power cheaply. I don't know. Maybe that is possible. I haven't really looked into them, but I would say it's mostly probably about marketing here.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think you're wrong. I'm not gonna say you're right because I haven't done my full DD either. Next week we're gonna have to do like bank stocks or something I can just ramble about and I know what I'm talking about. But I especially with the recency of this news on top of the stock being at near all time lows, I think you've got a solid point.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if I was making a power company specifically for AI, I'd probably go with nuclear. But that's just me. All right. I mean, I think we can go to the next one,
I guess, yeah.
unless we have anything else to say about this one.
I just had a question, and Joseph, by no means like feel the pressure. You just picked the stock, doesn't mean that you're CEO or something. But
Sorry, I didn't mean to beat you with the stick.
No,
Sorry.
no, I mean, sir, I beat you with a stick constantly. Please throw it back at me. I am not offended.
so they've got negative price earnings. They are 98% down since IPO. I'm guessing it was founded in 97, so IPO wasn't yesterday. I'm guessing like maybe 10 years ago. So, adjusted to today's USD inflation, that's probably like 99.5% down. So how does this company really survive till this date? Do you have any insight? Like, is it like, did they have a good like era that they actually like accumulated a lot of like cash to base and like it's still lasting till now, or do they have like great margins or not many staff? Like, how do they survive, I guess? Because all the indicators are pretty negative so far. And I understand this is a penny AI stock, which makes it potentially a value buy with what's on the horizon, but till so far, like, I guess, how did they make as a company?
Yeah, they've had two very important factors that have gotten them this far: hope and prayer, to say the least. But in all seriousness, looking at Plug Power, I mean, you said founded in '97, went public in October of '99, and they shot up to over 1,000 a share, then crashed with the .com bubble, and have never really recovered since then. The only thing Plug Power seems to be able to continue doing is selling some dream in the future and moving the goalpost. So, like, if they can tell the Department of Energy, like, hey, we will be profitable and generating X amount of energy by 2026, how much money will you give me? And I look at the stock as two things. Like, on one side, man, they've kept it going for this long. How much longer can they keep it going? They're either right, and at some point, it's all going to work out, and the stock is going to blow up, and if you get in now, you're going to make so much money. Or they're just going to hover around zero forever until one day they, no pun intended, pull the plug.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's actually kind of what's gonna happen. Like, if they're doing this with the AI stuff, I feel like it's kind of like death throes at this point. Like, they're just kind of trying to get any money they can.
To Joseph's credit, though, like, I was doing some DD, and that's how I found, like, they had BlackRock, State Street, HSBC, BNP Paribas, which is a French insurance and banking group, more recently invested in them, millions of dollars. So
and that's
I was quite surprised, like, given all red here, right? On the
that's actually a
Yeah.
good indicator.
And that's exactly what I was kind of say there is like that is the only thing really been keeping them afloat for so long now is their ability to convince these larger companies that like don't
Mm.
worry, it's coming.
Mhm.
All right, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a very little find. So congrats on that. But
Thanks.
it's
Yeah,
interesting. It was interesting to know about them.
it's a very niche and good find.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, if it's like up 900%, I'll just kick myself. But you know,
We'll watch it forever.
It's on my watch list already. All right, moving on to the next one. We might do two more or one more, I guess, depending on the time. So my pick this week is Big Bear AI. It was founded in 2020 in Maryland. It was founded by three people who are the top executives, president, CEO, and CFO. Very diverse and ex top executives in US defense, IBM, and Amazon, specifically AWS. In my opinion, that's a good combination to mix with AI. So their top proposition, I guess, or top product right now is facial recognition and vision AI based travel and aviation security. So they recently acquired Pangiam, which is a travel and aviation security. So a lot of the airports, metro stations, subway stations, I don't know where else, maybe like train stations, they do have this like facial recognition for security. Also, like, during the passport control. So they do focus on that a lot. In the healthcare stuff, they are also focusing a lot on the mental health related stuff. So yeah, it's a smaller company, smaller market cap, but definitely a good executive, I guess, structure. They all have apparently like good networks too. Stock has been suffering a little bit though, like year over year, I think it's 49% down. And since IPO, again, like very similar to Plug, like it's not doing great since IPO, 84% down. So again, this is a truly penny AI stock, 1.6 dollars. What makes it a buy to me is again just the network and diverseness of their top executives, because in their board there's six people. There's a top lawyer, there's a top finance person, and then I think there was one more general counsel. But the top three people are coming from like really big network in like especially in defense. I see those type of connections really do help. So yeah, I picked this again, like Joseph did, like as more of a value buy. Obviously, more DD is needed, but again, last year was a net loss. This year, their revenue outlook is pretty good. They're actually anticipating between 180 to 200 million revenue, which is roughly like 45% to 50% of their entire market cap. So let's see if they deliver. Obviously, the Q1 results aren't in yet. It's April 18th, actually. Well, is April 18th already there? No, I don't think so. So we're 2 days away from the earnings. So I have a feeling that if you guys are going to add this stock to the watch list, just again, like Joseph said, it might do a big jump. I think Q1 this year will be a good indicator.
Can I jump in for a second, John?
Of course, go for it.
Because I do, and this isn't on Big Bear specifically. This is kind of just on investing philosophy. I do want to mark a difference between a speculative play, which is more of what I'd call plug, and a value play.
This is more of a speculative play.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think these past two ones are kind of like that.
yeah.
But it might be a mark, I guess, value play depending on the earnings. So we'll see.
So sorry, Joseph, do you have anything else?
No. That was pretty much it for me.
So I was looking at what do these guys do exactly, and it's like looks like they basically just data mine and provide data for training for AI modules. So like AI models. So like that's kind of what I'm getting from what they do, and they have like different packages for like different types of data. But they don't actually do AI, even though they have like the name AI in their thing. As far as I can see, I'm not really seeing anything that says this is AI. It's just like data provider.
Yeah.
And that could be like useful. Is it how many billions of dollars this company is? Is it that much useful? I don't know. But if they have like contracts with like government, security and stuff like that, so maybe they have like really valuable data,
Yeah, that's obviously AI. Just like Joseph, like I'm more of a financial sector person, like nowhere near obviously an AI expert. But like what I saw potentially is exactly what you said, FA. It's just when they value a company, they look at guaranteed revenue, you know, like for future forecasted. If they can like get a few good contracts from the US Homeland Security, which they've done in the past, kind of had a pause, but their current president is from the US Homeland Security, then it might actually reflect maybe short term, medium term to the stock price. So it might be a play for like I would say more medium term if they are successful and they start delivering the results. Because right now it's trading at $1.6, so there's not much to lose here
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like buying a few.
Yeah, I can see that. So like I'm thinking so because it's a little bit different when it comes to like government and defense contracts because the way they do software engineering is a lot different than how they do it in Amazon or any other company. Because like these guys would have to verify it and all everybody has to be on board. There's like regulations and all that stuff, all these data. If they do sell the data like I'm seeing from here, um, I don't know. So like these data sets better be really good, I guess. So because like they're like open source data sets like natural questions, like hotbot QA, things like that. It's like you can get all those, but if, from what I'm seeing, yeah, I don't see any AI stuff specifically, and I can't really find it. So they say like it's kind of like Palantir.
Yeah, that's Cathy Wood's pick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Palantir is definitely like a
Wait,
well-known brand name.
did we really do a whole AI presentation and forget Palantir?
Yeah.
Wow, we should be ashamed, gentlemen.
It's in the AI hub though at Marketplace, so at least it's somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a very risky play. I feel like this one is very speculative. And how much is it down? 50%
So
down.
year over year, 50%.
Yeah.
But during
I
that
guess it was a
52
bad year.
it was a bad year, but during that 52-week range, though, there was a period that they were like trading at $4.8. Right now, it's 1.6. So, like, not every single day of the year was bad, I guess. So it's just
Yeah.
that
I mean,
I
the
think that
only
is
thing.
speculative again.
Yeah,
Like,
the only thing I would say is that just because its stock was high and then went down, it's not gonna mean it doesn't mean that it's gonna go back up again.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of stocks that goes down and then just stays
not
there.
all the dips are healthy, right? Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
and this one is a a good chunk of their like 50% is quite a lot. Although like I said, last year has been pretty bad. And if the guy like the president is actually has connections with Homeland Security, so maybe there's something there to look
Yeah.
for.
I was gonna say I'm looking at their stock chart and kind of just articles over the last year, a few years, and I mean they IPO'd and very similar to Plug. They IPO'd and they got a huge contract from the Air
Yes.
Force,
And
and then yeah, right back down. I mean, and again, maybe we're talking about two sides of the same coin. Their ability to succeed or maybe even survive in the future is entirely based on how well can they convince the government it's coming. Don't worry.
very
Yeah.
much like Plug, I guess. Yeah, not much else to add,
Yeah.
honestly.
Any other questions? I guess
But if
for
there's
this
any
one before we
questions,
move on.
comments.
Cool. Let's move to the last one. The last
Last
one
one.
is gonna be Facebook, or well, it used to be known as Facebook. Now it's Meta.
Yeah.
So Meta is obviously kind of like Amazon, but not really, because Amazon, while they sell shovels, Facebook is the shovels. I guess the worker who's working the shovel. So I mean, but what they're doing is kind of interesting because the reason I picked this one again is that not because Meta is like some AI genius, but because they kind of have to work with AI a little bit better because their previous investment on Meta World that obviously isn't gonna work out, hasn't worked out so far. So they need like a new thing, and I think they're throwing a lot of money at this thing, at this AI thing. So they came up with their own like photo generation thing for like versus image journey. It's free actually on Facebook. You can use it. They have their chatbots as well, and they can do a lot of stuff with AI when it comes to like social media because they control WhatsApp, they control Instagram, they control obviously Facebook. They can use those to basically generate ads, sell those ads, or make people talk like customer support. They're good at that kind of thing. Like Google isn't good at that kind of thing. Amazon isn't good at that kind of thing, even though they have good support. But Facebook is basically just using like WhatsApp and platforms like that to basically just like marketplaces and generation. I think they have upside here. That's basically what I'm hearing. Mine is value invest, but more like half speculative and value invest because I haven't really seen anything that makes Meta shine just yet. But I know that they are working on stuff.
Can
I
I?
think.
I
Yeah,
was.
go
Can
ahead.
I ask you a quick question on them?
Yeah.
So when we did Reddit a couple weeks ago, we talked about how Reddit is scraping user data to sell to AI companies to train their models,
Yes.
and that could potentially push them toward their first ever profitable quarter. But that said, could you see Meta doing the same thing? Or will they not do that sale because they have their own in-house AI, or do you think they
That's
care about their users enough?
I think that's a great question. So Reddit is selling their data because they want to like survive. Facebook
Yes.
has this data already and much more of it. Like people use Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram way more than Reddit. So they have so much more data that they can utilize to make these much gianter like LLMs. And there's like a maybe like a I don't know, maybe Michael knows a little bit better because I I I do AI a little bit at my day-to-day job, but not like a researcher. I'm just an engineer. But like if there's like a tipping point of how much data you can put into the model, Facebook has the most data, obviously.
Oh, without a doubt, it's not
Mm.
close.
If I can offer, there is a very interesting play that Meta is doing. So Meta makes the Llama 2 model, which is open source, which is a very popular open source. Um, However, they have a partnership with Microsoft, and as you had mentioned, Microsoft Azure, they have a partnership where it looks like Meta is creating this open source model, but where are you going to run it? And they're funneling people over towards Microsoft Azure to pay for their service. So again, with the like, go with the guy who's selling the shovels.
Yeah.
Microsoft is selling the compute service to run Llama 2, and they have a partnership. So they're both sort of putting together this Llama. So they're trying to basically capitalize on the open source, which is interesting because Microsoft also has a deal with OpenAI. So Microsoft is sort of playing the paid model and the open source model.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems to be, as for everything I've read, seems to be Facebook's sort of play. Make an open source model that's very popular and then get a piece of the service that
Mm.
people pay for through Microsoft.
That's actually great. Like I mean, from a vision perspective from Facebook, I think it's a little disappointing, but I think that is a great play. I didn't know that.
No.
So they're basically doing what AWS is doing with Bedrock, but together. And basically, the reason I didn't put Microsoft in the slides is that it would be too obvious because Microsoft is just open AI at this point. But when you're investing, so if they're doing that with Facebook models, that's basically going to drive a lot of people into it because they have the reputation, they have the means to serve with something like AWS. They have Azure. I think that that's gonna beat AWS in the long run, honestly, because yeah, Amazon has good AI, but it doesn't have Microsoft level AI or like Facebook level AI. You know, if you're gonna go for a service that is doing AI, you're gonna want to go to ChatGPT just because branding, name recognition, if nothing else. But it is then yeah, I mean, Meta is definitely much better pick than I thought it would be, if that's the case.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
And it does also offer a dividends, even though it's very small compared to the
Yeah.
bank stocks that we covered last week. It does also. I mean,
Yeah,
anything
free
adds up.
money.
I
Can't
mean
beat free money.
that dividend is right in line with like Microsoft and Apple's. I think I'm
Mm.
right about that. So they're giving you very similar to what I think you'd get from another big
One
tech,
of the
another
things.
FANG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it blows Amazon's dividend out of the water.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
because
because
it's
it's
zero.
zero, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's Meta. I think they have very potential upside, like I said. And if there's a partnership with Microsoft, then that is just icing on the cake.
Mhm.
Well, actually more than icing. It's the cake.
Yeah, they're also sort of trying to court enterprise in terms of like their Llama 2 model is their base model, but if you are like a large insurance company, they can, augment the model to service like so that you have it in house. So they're using that to sort of try to bring in enterprise customers that want a custom version of that specific to their industry.
Great. Yeah. Cool. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about Meta in terms of AI, at least. So I guess we can do like questions or anything like that. And
Yeah.
Or if you have any good AI-based talks, I guess, please feel free to share.
yeah, I mean, this is supposed to, like, this is meant to be like a more like a forum where everybody just speaks.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I've got one. I know
Yeah.
I've been chatty, but
No.
Yeah,
You've
go
been
ahead.
amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, no, I've been getting interested in more investment stuff, but you just happen to land on AI night, and I just happen to know a lot about AI stuff. This one, I hadn't really heard of it before either, but I just happened to interview with them the other week. There's a company called Intap, which it's an AI company, essentially. They've been around for like 10 years or so. And they occupy a very niche market where they go for like accounting and legal services. So if you are a lawyer, they put together, an AI bot that has, all of the legal cases of Maryland. I don't know, you practice law in Maryland. Here is your, ask it any question. It directs you to, the precedent and that sort of thing.
That's great.
And I happened to do a bit of research on them just in the course of interviewing with them. They went public about 3 years ago. Their stock peaked recently around January at about $45. Now it's down around 30. So it might just be a good sort of like dip.
Yeah.
Just in speaking with them, they seem like a very sharp group of folks. They got a 2.2 billion market cap. They are looking, in the process of interviewing, I got the sense that they are like expanding. Since they just went public, they are looking to, show growth. Yeah, the stock ticker name is INTA.
TA.
INTA.
Intap.
Their stock was just upgraded to a buy, maybe within the last month or so.
Yeah, I mean, they sound really interesting. So I about like 5-6 months ago, I heard about a company that was able to do like pass the bar exam. Maybe is it these guys or is that something else? I wonder.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I think it was like ChatGPT
what's
passed the bar
ChatGPT?
exam, and that's one of their metrics. But these guys, their business is focused on custom GPT software for the accounting and legal industry. So it's not just like generally like, write me a science fiction story. It's like what are the property statutes, on a, waterway in X state, going back to however long records exist, and it'll just bring it up, and they're servicing lawyers and, other sort of, deep pocket type of clients. And just in speaking with them, they seemed really very sharp and on the ball. I was thinking of picking some up myself just because.
Yeah, I mean, I might actually look into these. I mean, I'll definitely put it in the portfolio. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Looks like a really interesting dip as well, like you said, Michael, because as recent as February, it was trading at $45. Right now it's like 31, so that's a 50% discount.
Yeah.
If it's a dip. So definitely. I was just gonna ask, like, for all that data source and like input, like, are they all normally otherwise like publicly available information, or do they somehow get these from like governmental sources? Because you mentioned like past legal cases, etc. Like, are they all normally publicly available? Do they just kind of like streamline it for you to get access? Like, how do they get the info?
I don't work there at the moment, but that was my impression. They,
Okay.
I mean, ever see like those, pictures of lawyers sitting in front of like rows and rows and books? Apparently, they use those as the data source.
Understood.
All
very interesting.
All law and all cases. They just cram it into a large language model to save you a lot of reading.
Yeah, Yeah, I love ChatGPT. Honestly, it's like for things that I don't want to like do labor work. It's great.
You already, you
Yeah.
beat me to it, Def. I was just gonna put it.
Yeah, yeah. We
Once.
have a portfolio actually for AI
So,
specifically. It's just
so if I could learn how to properly share screen next time, I think I will do a better job.
yeah,
But
it's fine.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
go to marketplace. Oh, sorry, and
yeah,
underscore AI, right?
yeah.
Was it? I'll just say AI, and then I think
I
I'm
did
ready.
link it on the thing, but it's
This
fine.
one.
Yeah. So this is basically the portfolio that we're tracking. You can change it too. Basically join and then just vote on whatever stock you think should be in here. It updates and then it's like a kind of like a community portfolio thing. So yeah, feel free to just go in there and then just put your picks in there. I did add InTap here just now because I do think this actually has a lot of potential here. Do I have Amazon here? I don't. Okay, let me just
Yeah,
go.
I think we do now. Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do, we do.
Nvidia, Amazon, Palantir, that Cathy Woodstock,
Yeah.
ANET.
So yeah, this just tracks that portfolio, and then people can just vote on different stocks, and just creates like a shared percentage based on the votes. Uh, so it's like we can see what everybody's thinking a little bit. Cool. Yeah, feel free to join that if you want. I find it useful. But yeah, so it's almost 9 anyway. So any questions you guys have, or anything else you guys want to talk
Yeah.
about?
Questions, thoughts, stocks. Um, yeah.
Oh, I got one more. I know.
Yeah.
No, no, please.
Like I said, I've just been starting to get sort of deeper into this, and I started learning Thinkorswim, the software from
Yeah.
Schwab.
TD Ameritrade. Well, Schwab. Yeah, it became
Yeah,
Schwab.
yeah. I don't know. Anybody have any good tips towards like tutorials or anything for Thinkorswim? I've been checking out YouTube and Udemy for it, but if anybody had a, go check out these. It sums it up really well.
Are you interested in options or just regular
Yes.
stock stuff? Yeah.
Options are, just in broader sense, just how to get more involved in like having
Yeah.
an actual terminal that,
When I learned it, and I use Thinkorswim for trading as well. When I learned it, I was just looking at a course at Udemy.
Mhm.
Someone go like Hussein or something. I'll send it. I'll send it on the event chat later when I find it. But I found that useful. But it was just specifically for options. But he does go through some of the other stuff too. Just like a thing. If you're doing like a technical stuff, technical indicator kind of stuff, that's a little bit different. I don't even remember how I learned it, but I unlearned them. I unlearned them pretty quickly because it's not very useful. But yeah,
Anything you got, I'm interested. Please send it along.
yeah, I'll put it on the event chat and then could do that.
So about the Thinkorswim,
Yeah.
I cannot open this account because I'm not a resident of Canada or United States. But for example, I think we spoke about AI, yeah, and we have, for example, information manual or instruction manual how to use this. So maybe we can take this data, yeah, and put in AI, say what strategy you have, for example, or do PDF uh, file, yeah, like about your strategy. And so maybe that will be work with the AI. But I don't use AI, so
Yeah.
I prefer like old school. Uh,
Yeah. I think yeah. What you mean is like algorithmic trading with AI. Is that what you mean?
Algorithm trading with the AI, I think no, because you have to you have to teach your
Mm-hmm.
AI because the AI is totally for first when you speak with her or him, I don't know. You have to teach him for first because he doesn't know nothing. So if you will be do, for example, programming with Python, uh, the AI will be give you like wrong code. That's for first. If you, for example, wanna do in options delta one strategies, you know, delta. Wait, sorry, AI doesn't know what is that. So you have to teach him for first.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Here.
That
So
usually happens before you actually start training. So when you do like a training loop, like epochs and all that stuff
mm,
first, and then you do that. So like you have like data already. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and another question. So we spoke now about AI and investments, yeah? So nothing like day trading. So for example,
Yeah.
for day trading, what instruments we have to search for like, I don't know, know a lot of volatility, more liquidity in
Yeah.
instruments, but that will be small instruments, with a good liquidity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I
what
mean, day
strategies for
trading.
it?
I did some day trading. I was never good at it, so I kind of like dropped it. But basically, it's like a technical. You look at the technical indicators on the graphs, and people basically look at those same indicators, and they do moves according to those. So basically, what you're trying to do is predict what other guys are gonna do by looking at that graph. It's not investing. It's just like trying to trick the other person uh, into giving
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
money.
understand, but I think like that's illusion about technical analysis, for just normal retail traders. So, and the same, like,
Yeah.
it's not good. But maybe for that's like we have a special model, hexagonal cuboid. I don't know how to do it in English. So that's model about, for example, how to say, we have like banks, investments funds, hedge funds, yeah, and a lot of these guys who make big money, who know what the process of the markets, not like actually where you have to put money, investment. They know like a physical of physic of markets, and we have retail traders. So this hexagonal cuboid say one thing. So when we have an elephant, yeah, and how many chance he can fly? Zero, but like
Mm.
no, he have a chance fly, but that's
Yeah.
zero. In a distance, of course, that will be zero. So we have retail traders. How many chance they will be take a lot of money? Also zero.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's like
Yeah,
very
that's
interesting.
yeah, that's why I don't like 95% of day traders lose money. So yeah,
No, I think not 95. Sorry, but I think all persons.
yeah. I mean, eventually, I mean, there
If
are obviously
in
like
in a
professional
distance.
people that are doing this like as a job. They got those guys, but they have kind of like insider knowledge almost. Not
Mm.
really, but at least that's what they say. But
Okay. So, and
yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm profan. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm
No,
not a good in this team. So just looking for smart people for know a lot of information from you.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Thanks for joining.
Very much.
Yeah, we're glad you guys were here. But yeah, so that's this week. Basically, we're gonna upload this to YouTube. Hopefully, if you guys are
this
okay with that.
you will be
But I mean,
uploaded.
yeah, but we can actually maybe remove you guys from it if you guys want to. Just let us know. But yeah.
Next week, I guess we're gonna be in San Francisco for that conference.
Oh
So
yeah, we're gonna be there.
um,
So
we'll try to keep the call, but just because of the time of the day, we might need to cancel next week. But we'll be back following week.
yeah,
Case. Yeah.
we'll pick something else. But yeah, I'll send you the tutorials that I used, Michael, and I'm sure Joseph has something for you as well.
That'd be
It's better.
fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right. Thank you for joining.
Oh, yeah, thank you all so
Thanks for
much.
your
Great
time,
time.
guys. Have a lovely day.
Have a nice good evening.
You
too.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Buenas